Section 2.2, solving problems. So these are going to be some word problems. When we do word problems, we try and follow 5 steps. The first step is read the problem. You might need to read it a couple of times. Sometimes it'll make sense, sometimes it won't. So the next thing you want to do is try and plan your strategy. So be very picky on what is the question asking and how are you going to solve it. And then execute that plan. Sometimes that plan works, sometimes it doesn't. So try a plan, and if it works, great. If not, try something else. Number 4 says answer the question. Sometimes when you solve what you have written, it's not quite answering the question yet. So make sure you're answering the question that's being asked. And lastly, you can check your answer. Alright, so solve the following problems. Number 1, 13 is equal to 3 less than 4 times a number. So be very careful when you see the word less than. Most students know that less than means to subtract, but what they forget is what comes after the less than has to go first. So you need 4 times a number, and then you need to subtract the 3. So 13 is equal to, and then we're going to flip this, 4 times the number, and then minus 3. And then you have to solve for the number. So how do we solve this equation? Well, we need to add 3 on both sides. So we get 16 equals 4x. And then we need to divide by 4. So x is going to equal 4. So let's answer the question. The number is 4. Alright, so let's try number 2. 6 minus 3 times the difference of a number and 5 is equal to 4 times the number. Again, what is the number? So 6 minus 3 times the difference. So we know what this means, 6 minus. So we got the 6 minus. Now what does this piece mean? 3 times the difference. Well, 3 times the difference would be 3 times something, okay? And what is that something? Well, it's the difference of a number and 5. The difference of a number and 5. So difference means to subtract. What are we subtracting? A number and 5. So here's the number and 5, and we're taking the difference of that. Is equal to, that's that equal sign again, times the number. So 4 times the number. And again, what is the number? So I'm going to let you solve that one out. First thing we probably should do is distribute, so I'll give you a hint. First thing you should do is distribute the 3 and make sure you distribute the negative with it. And your answer should be x equaling 3. So again, the number is 3. So in number 6, we kind of should be happy about this one because they give us a formula already, so we don't have to come up with our own equation. So let's read this. The coldest spot on Earth was found in Antarctica at -89. Use C equaling 5/9 F minus 32 to convert this temperature to degrees Fahrenheit. So all we need to do is plug in and then solve. So -89 degrees Celsius should go where the C is. So we have -89 equals 5/9, and then F minus 32. Now there are a couple ways to solve this one. The way that I would start is I'd go ahead and get rid of parentheses, because that's what that very first page said to do when you're trying to solve a linear equation. So I'm going to distribute, and when we distribute fractions, we should be happy about that, because all we got to do is multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So we get -89 equals 5 times f is 5s, and 9 times 1 is 9. Minus 5 times 32 is 160, and 9 times 1 is 9. Now what do we need to do? Well, we probably need to get rid of fractions just to make our life a little bit easier. So to get rid of fractions, we find our least common denominator. Well, our only denominator is 9. So what we need to do is multiply every term by 9 to get rid of fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by 9/1 to get rid of fractions. So 9 times -89 is -801. 9 times 5f, but divided by 9, the 9's will cancel. So you're just left with 5f. And on the 9 and the 9 on this term will also just cancel. So you're going to and now we can solve this linear equation pretty nicely. We're just going to add the 160 over to the other side. And so we're going to take negative 801 and add 160, and we're going to get negative 641 equals 5f. Last step is to divide if necessary, and it is necessary. We need to divide by 5. When we divide by 5, we get that f is equal to negative 128.2 degrees. So Fahrenheit is negative 128.2. Alright, so let's try number 4. Number 4 says a clothing store has a special sale with every item discounted 40%. If the price of a dress after the discount was $24.50, what was the original price? So with this problem, there are different ways to set it up. Because we're talking about linear equations, I'm going to continue going that route. So first thing you have to do is figure out what it's asking for. And it wants to know what was the original price. So that should be our variable. X is going to be the original price. Definitely need to label your variables. Let me know what your variable is representing. So now we don't know the original price. So the formula that we should be using says that the original price minus a discount should equal the sale price. And this is how it works all the time. The original price minus the discount equals the sale price. We don't know the original price, so we're going to call it X. So that's my X. We don't really know the discount quite yet, but we do know the sale price. They said the sale price was $24.50. Now how do we find the discount? Well, the discount is 40%, okay? So minus, if we just put 0.40, we're only taking off 40 cents. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. We need to understand what a percent's doing. That percent is from the original price. So your discount is a percent times OP, the original price. What was the original price? We called it X. So this was the original price minus this is the discount, and that's going to equal the sale price. So these are considered like terms. So what's really in front of this X is a 1. So we're going to do 1 minus 0.40. So that's like $1 minus 40 cents. So $1 minus 40 cents would be 60 cents equals $24.50. And then all we need to do is divide by 0.6 and we get our answer. So when you take your calculator and you do the division, you should say that X would have equaled 40.83. But let's answer the question. What was X representing? The original price. So the original price was $40.83. A lot of students just want to take $24.50 times 40% and add it back to it. But that's a problem. We're working backwards. So we can't go in that direction because we're not taking 40% of $24.50. We're taking 40% of the original price. Alright, so number 5. Two cars are traveling towards each other on the same highway. One car is traveling 65 miles per hour and the other at 60 miles per hour. If the two cars are 200 miles apart, how long will it take them to meet? So let's underline what the question is asking. How long will it be until they meet? So we're looking for the time. So what formula relates distance, rate, and time? So distance is going to be the rate times the time. So we're going to let t be time. So let's think what's happening here. We have two cars that are traveling towards each other. So here's my first car, and here's my second car. I'm definitely not an artist, and they're traveling towards each other. Now one is traveling at 65 miles per hour. So one of them is traveling at 65 miles per hour. So the distance that it's traveling is 65t. because again, we don't know the time. The other one's traveling 60 miles per hour, so this distance would be 60 t. And then the last piece of information they gave us was from here to here, they were 200 miles apart. So how do you think we should set up our equation? Well, if this one's distance is 65 t, so say for instance it travels this far, and this distance was 60 t, the distance of car 1 plus the distance of car 2 should equal the distance that they were apart, which is 200. So 65t plus 60t should equal 200. And all we have to do is combine like terms. So those like terms would give me 125t equaling 200. Then all I need to do is divide by 125 to get t by itself. So t is going to equal 1.6. So how are we going to answer the question? How long will it be until they meet? It will take 1.6 hours for them to meet. I would like you to write your answers in words when it's not just finding a number. Alright, number 6. Two boats traveling in opposite directions on a river meet and pass each other. The northbound boat is traveling 9 miles per hour and the southbound boat has at 15 miles per hour. If they maintain those rates, how long will it take for them to be 42 miles apart? So you have two boats and they kind of met at a specific spot, right? So they're my wonderful boats. The northbound boat, we'll say that this is going north, is going 9 miles per hour. And then we have a southbound boat and it's going at 15 miles per hour. So again, looking at what the question's asking, how long will it take them? So we're looking for the time again. So t is going to be the time. So the boat going north has a distance of, its rate was 9 miles, and the time is what we're looking for, so its distance equals 9t. And then the southbound boat was going 15 miles per hour, so this is going to be a distance of 15t. And if they maintain those rates, how long will it take for them to be 42 miles apart? So from here to here, when they get to that point, we want it to be 42 miles. So the distance of the first boat plus the distance of the second boat should equal the distance that they are apart. So 9t plus 15t should equal 42. So we're going to take 9 plus 15, which is 24t, equals 42. And then we're going to take 42 and divide by 24, and it's going to take in 1.75. So the time is 1.75. So how long did it take them to be 42 miles apart? It takes 1.75 hours.